Yeah, talofa lava. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Pussycat. Okay, so I'm catching you again in the morning as the kids are asleep. So this morning I wanted to talk about, in the self-care series, I really think I need to talk about this part here. And I'm going to go, what happens when we lose it and we get stressed out? Well, that's a really good question, because when we lose it, we just have no room for negotiation, do we? And as the adults or the parents, we've lost the plot. And it takes a lot for some of us to get there, but for others, you just lose it because there's so many kids around. And if you are with a partner or a partner or some other adults, you can offload to them. Lucky you. But if you're like me and it's only you, then it's hard to offload, and sometimes you're looking out the window and you're staring into space wanting to yell. And sometimes you go there and you yell, and you end up saying things that you regret later. So first I want to say to that, it's okay. You're not perfect. None of us are. We lose the plot and we just need to get back on track. So what happens in your brain is that we have three parts to our brain. And let me just demonstrate it here. I'll use the other hand. So in our brain, we have three parts. The bottom part is the brain stem, which is where my wrist is. That's the brain stem part. That's the survival part. The second part is as I open up inside, in the middle of my head, so this is representing a head, is the what we call the limbic system. That's where your emotions are. And your third part is when I fold over, which is in the front part of your head, which is the cortex, and that's the thinking. So let me just demonstrate first with where my brain is now. This is that brainstem part, which is the, I can't use my other hand, which is where the wrist is, and that's the survival. This part in the middle right here, in the middle of the brain, which is the limbic system that governs your emotions. And then you have the cortex, which is right here. And this part here is your cortex. So I'll do that again. Brainstem is the survival. The core, the limbic system is in the middle, which is your emotions. Cortex, which is your thinking. Okay, so these parts govern how our brain functions. And usually when you're angry and you can no longer hold, and you actually lose the plot, your thinking part of your brain, which is your cortex, tends to flip. And when it flips, that's when you lose control. So when you lose control, a lot of the energy that you're feeling and the words that you're using and the actions fly, and you don't have any kind of control over that. And it all goes to a part of the brain that I've talked about, which is the survival, which is this part, or the wrist, where the wrist is. And that is where you use your survival part, because you're actually trying to survive. So you're in this state like this, and you're trying to figure out what to do. You don't have any kind of idea, because you're so angry and frustrated that you've flipped your lid and you're trying to survive. And the only thing you're doing is you have a choice of fight, fly, which is fight, flight, or freeze. And that's what happens when we get to this state of being stressed out, because they call it our stress response system within us. They say that what it is known in research, that we just have our control goes out the window when we're in a fight, flight, or freeze. And I know you know what I'm talking about, because usually if your partner stresses you out, you like turn and go, what did you say? And you're trying to defend yourself. Or just think, when the kids are bugging you like every day now, moment you wake up, it is like that. You're already in your brain stem or survival brain before you even start. So I just want to say, I'm with you. How do we control that? I'm going to do that in a minute. Okay, because I only want these to be about 6 minutes long. So the way to control yourself is to breathe. So we do breathing like this. Usually you go, but actually it's better to take a deep breath in, hold and control as you come out. Now, when you come out, that releases that anxiety here, and it also gives time for your brain to process that you can do this. And as you release, you relax, and that's relaxing your shoulders. So that's one of the breathing techniques. You can count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to give yourself time as well. You can walk. You can take a walk to the backyard. You can just take a walk around to the bedroom, to the toilet, and take some time out in the toilet. You can actually say, stop it, I don't like it, because that's something that we ask or we tell our kids to do, and we have to model that. I think it's important to model that. Know that you are okay in the situation. This is just what happens to your brain and your system. Everybody, it happens to all of us, and you need time to give yourself some space. And say that, look, I'm getting really angry, I'm upset, I need some time. And you might need to just take a walk outside and look outside. Okay, so those are some of the things. Then once your kids can realize that you need some time yourself, we have to talk about limits and boundaries around how they push you to your limits. And I know they push you, and we need to talk about that. Okay, so let's do that another time, but I just wanted to do that little wee briefing on the brain and the stress. We'll talk about it again. Okay, bye-bye.